All right, and hello everybody, and welcome to Between the Lines Book Talk. And today we are going to do our book club talk, I guess. And we really didn't lay out a format, so we're just going to kind of play it by ear, and we don't even know what books each of us are going to talk about. So we're just busy girls, but we're just going to have a little fun today. And how are you girls today? How are you today?
I'm harried. No, I'm great. I'm having a lot of fun. I am. But, I'm thinking about tomorrow. I'm planning to sleep. So, I haven't slept in a while. But how about you ladies? How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
Yeah, Rhonda and I got to chat a little bit. Rhonda and I got to chat a little bit while we were waiting for you, and
Yeah, I was late, guys.
How busy all of us are, but I just had this morning. I had to waste some time because I don't know if you girls watched the Originals series, which is filmed in New Orleans and Atlanta.
I love that show. Yes.
Did you watch that last night? Did you watch the show last night?
No, I am so behind. I'm
a little behind, so I'm catching up. But
I got Hulu this weekend.
You girls.
Yes, that's my treat for tomorrow.
They are knocking off our leading characters right and left, and I don't know if who's coming back, or it is ridiculous. I mean, I'm just.
Oh, yes, they did. Oh.
But.
Well, I'm not going to give a spoiler. I liked her, but as long as it's not Klaus or all of that.
Yeah, but you never know. I mean, it just seemed like there's magic involved, and they're always bringing people back, finding a way. Now, I was really mad when they killed Jack, but and I knew he wasn't coming back.
Yeah, that surprised me.
But I think
they took his heart.
Well, I think they had to kill him off because of Haley and Elijah. That I think they had to.
Yeah.
He was in the way.
He really was. And Haley was. Yep. She was doing her duty as the queen of the werewolves or whatever, and so she had to keep Elijah. But then after Jackson died, now she doesn't want Elijah because Elijah reminds her too much of his death. So.
See, I have no patience for her.
Really.
Yeah. So
I'm like, girl, please.
I mean, but and I know you guys like New Orleans so much, and I was just, and I was like, I watched last night's episode, and it's like, I hope those two girls watched because I need to.
Oh, tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow I'm catching up. You need to go to New Orleans. You would love it, right, Rhonda?
Yeah, we all three need to go as a group. We would have a blast. We would rock that city.
That's right.
Hey!
You heard it here, everybody.
We can record there. Let's do a recording there.
Would that not be so cool?
Yes.
So.
Oh my gosh! Well, I know I'll be there July 26th. So if you guys are coming down, I'll be there for a day.
Oh. I'd like to go when the weather is colder up here and enjoy it down there. Yeah.
No, that's true because maybe we get a little humid. But.
Yeah, and Rhonda's got her haunted house, so we can't do that on Halloween.
In October, yeah.
So, okay.
So we can maybe November or something. But we're going to get this together, guys. Yeah. We're going to record from New Orleans.
We'll record from New Orleans.
All
right. So, cool. So everybody, you'll have to stay tuned because, I think it'll be interesting.
It's coming.
Yeah, and I already checked. Tickets from Colorado are like $200-$300, so I think that's doable for me. So, and I have friends that can hook us up, and we could stay with them, and we could stay cheap. So,
around the town.
Yeah. But anyway, so speaking of cities, which brings us to our first book. Now, I know Ronda didn't get a chance to read it yet, but we did. I know Michelle and I did get to chat with Steve DeWinter, and let me see.
Yes.
So he wrote Charles Dickens' Tales of Two Cities, but he added with dragons. And so the dragon part was what caught my attention, and I think it was a great marketing ploy because it actually got me to read Charles Dickens, which I've never done before. So, and when we talked to Steve, I mean, we had to ask him, why did you go there in the first place? Why would you take, that classic and change it now? What did he decide? What did he say about the dragon part of it, Michelle?
Should we give this spoiler? Because I was giving spoilers away the whole time.
I know.
I can say it?
I think because we're reviewing it.
I can say it?
Yeah.
Okay. There are no dragons, guys. There are no dragons in the book. There's none.
No.
But, I've heard he keeps it going. He keeps you hooked with that, but there are no dragons. Yeah.
They waited.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's what he said.
I was surprised that was a number one book and still like number one classic book. I never even knew that about Tales of Two Cities. So that intrigued me.
Yeah.
So,
but I think, I think Ronda would probably get a kick out of it because her being a publisher, and reading this book, back during that era and the way that they wrote and their long ass, eloquent, page-long sentences.
Long, one sentence. And he said that was a challenge because he didn't change I thought he rewrote the story in his way, but he actually kept the original text and added he interlaced it.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
That was probably a very delicate procedure.
Yeah.
So I was impressed with that.
Yeah.
That makes me really want to read it. And so he changed nothing about the dialogue.
No.
He actually geared his words to Charles.
Yeah.
So
that's impressive.
That is impressive.
Yeah.
And I also heard that the reason they wrote that way, Denise and Rhonda, is because they didn't have TV, internet, they couldn't stream. That was their entertainment. So they had all these elaborate, descriptions that today would drive us, if we can't say it in a tweet, I want to hear it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
but
I actually took a college course on writing long sentences, and my editor chopped every one of them up. So,
wow.
I guess it's just the change of the times. I mean, it's just like watching TV. I mean, if somebody's not getting hacked up or killed or something exciting isn't happening.
Car chase.
Yeah. So I don't know.
And I speak in run-on sentences and I write in run-on sentences. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I would have in back in the 1800s. I'm like, ugh. But anyway.
I know. I don't.
But yes.
Yeah. So, and
he's such an awesome guy.
He is. He really is. And for him to take on this task and then to do the Oliver Twist one with vampires and so Steve DeWinter's guys, check him out. He's done a ton of books.
Check him out.
And if you already know the story, it's kind of interesting to read it, go back and read it and see what he did or didn't do, and for those who have never
and I think it'd be great for you.
Well,
like kids, maybe get them into the classes, maybe.
Yeah, it's
high school or whatnot.
It is a challenge,
I've got a question.
You what?
I've got a question.
Sure.
Are there vampires in Oliver Twist in the new one, in this new book, or is it like the dragons?
That's a good question.
Well, and that's what I'm wondering, if he just writes these, what's the word, metaphorically, or, I mean, because
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, because Tale of Two Cities, you're waiting for the dragons, and it's just like he says, it has to do with the elite.
Yeah.
The story has to do with the elite.
Right.
And how they think they control the society. And so he refers to the elite as the dragons. And here we got this revolution, France is going through this revolution, and all the people that are revolting are waiting for the dragons to come, and they never come, and so the whole book, you're just like, they're going to get it. They're going to get it,
They're going to get it.
Yeah.
They're going to get it.
But
they get it, but they're going to.
And he, what does he do? He refers to the elite as wizards, but he types the word wizards differently. He has an X instead of a Z.
X,
yeah,
right. It was the X. Yes.
So
I think it's worth checking out.
Yeah, so, I think so too.
Yes.
It's a good challenge, and I think everybody who reads it should get a free T-shirt that says something like, I read Tales of Two Cities with
Dragons
and survived.
And a crown.
I am almost halfway through, and I'm glad you guys told me about the dragons, because I'm like, where are the dragons? I'm almost halfway through this book. There's no dragons. Now I know. And I thought it was a typo when I first, first couple of words I come across. I'm like, okay, who edited this? But then I realized, oh, never mind. This is meant to be this way.
That's right.
Yep.
But he's
definitely need a T-shirt.
He has so many.
Oh yeah.
Very prolific.
Yeah.
Great fantasy author. So he's one to check out. I would say.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Definitely. I mean, definitely.
Are you speaking, Denise?
Huh?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I can't hear you.
Did you mute your, let me see.
Oh, there you go. Okay. There you go.
Okay. All right.
You might have. No, the stress caught up to me. They're moving their mouths. All right, guys.
Help me.
Melting down on the book chat.
Help me, I'm possessed.
Okay. I know. See, I watch too much originals. I'm not joking.
Oh gosh. Okay. All right. Well,
we have.
Who is ready? Who is ready? Who has a book, and who is ready to talk about their book?
Woo. Well, I can go whenever you guys are ready. It is up to you. Did you want to go since you're the guest?
I'll go.
Okay.
All
right. Okay, the book I have is Dark Secrets by Mikki Smith. She's recently changed the cover. She's re-released a new cover, but here is, can you see that pretty well?
Cool, yeah.
That's the old cover.
Yeah.
But, so she's got a sequel she's hoping to release in the next 6 months, I think. But it's a really intriguing book. It really caught my eye. She wrote it roughly 20, 25 years ago. But when I read it, I didn't realize that. It was timeless. There was a few things after I realized that it was that old, the manuscript, because she just released it. There was a few things in there that I realized, well, wait a minute, that I see now how this could be a little older. I'm not going to give away a lot of spoilers, but I will tell you there's no cell phones. So that was one thing. I'm like, these people this girl's out in the woods and she's going through this horrific thing and she's just, what she saw, she'll never forget. It's life-changing. And she was running to save her life. I'm like, where's your cell phone? She's calling down cars. I'm like, okay, maybe you don't have one. So then when I realized,
cell phone? No, I'm just
maybe she don't have reception in the woods. Anyway, I realized, oh, wait, okay, Mikki wrote this 20-some years ago, 25, 30 years ago, back in the 70s. But it's a really good book. The main character is a young teenage girl that her mother has sheltered her entire life. She has these powers that she doesn't realize she has. Her grandmother wants to tell her. She overhears a mother and a grandmother arguing one morning. Anyway, after this horrific incident in the woods, her mother finally comes clean and, tells her a little bit about what's going on. But she's caught up in a cult. Her whole family, her grandmother broke free, took her daughter, but it's just, she ends up back there anyway. No matter how hard her family tried to protect her, she ends up back where she was supposed to be in this cult. And she meets up with a detective, which he smokes all the time. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's habit now also. Smoking. Is it a statement? Then I realized this was 27 years ago. Man's a chain smoker, but anyway. So she meets up with him. Her friend she thinks is dead ends up helping her out. But at the end, she ends up leaves you with a hanger. The prophecy, the thing that has to happen to her, that's happened to her mother and her grandmother, everybody, it ends up happening to her no matter how hard her mother tries to protect her. But it ends up okay in the end, and she ends up with a new coven, and who is there to protect her. But it's really good. The next book picks up with this young girl and her 6-year-old child. It's 6 years into the future. So the next book picks up there. But, it's a timeless manuscript. So if anybody, I would suggest anybody, that likes paranormal, any kind of romance, they should really read this. I think it's an intriguing book. I was really surprised to know that it was that old, because it did not read like that.
Is that like Marion Zimmer Bradley? Like, I could still read Marion Zimmer Bradley, Mary Stewart, so she's probably from that era. Yeah. And same genre too. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Cool.
And it is, we were, joking, but it is incredible when we read books back, and it does have references to things that we're not dealing with today, such as the cell phone issue or the smoking. But, you're thinking she could have just sent that text, But I think it's wonderful. But I think it's wonderful, to have writing that you forget those super, more official things, and you're like, I'm drawn into this story. And I loved how you said timeless. I love that, because I think books that withstand time, they become classics.
I need to get that book.
Very cool.
I need to get that
Definitely
book.
on TBR.
Yeah. I like the timeless stories. I really do. I really do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have.
But I think one of us should. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying that.
Did I lose you again?
I have every one of Mary Stewart's books, and even Marion Zimmer Bradley, and I still just go back and
I love them.
They're it's, I don't know, the pace of writing is a little slower. Yeah.
Barbara Cartland, Victoria Holt, J.D. Robb, but what was her other name? J.D. Robb, that was the science fiction part, but she was in that era. I loved all of them, and you're right, they still write today. Yeah. They're staple. And I think that is all our goal, is to become a staple. Yeah. It's the story.
Right.
But I do think it'd be great if one of us or somebody writes a book with all the cliches that they've now taken away. And just throw it in a book. What happens?
I have to tell you, I'm reading Benjamin Toe's book, The First Wand Maker, and he does that. Even though he writes epic fantasy, he does that. He flips these old cliches, and he names his characters after old nicknames and things from the past. It's hilarious, and I read it and I just giggle. And and he inserted lyrics from Jefferson Airplane. I mean, and you got it's just yeah, it is. I'm gonna have to review this one. Yeah, so
yes. Just as I love the timeless, I love the ones that don't take themselves too seriously. So,
right.
Very cool. Yeah. Sounds like a great read.
Yeah. All right, Michelle, I guess you're next.
All righty. Well, I have a story from, it's called Waiting for No One by Allaire. I loved her because I chatted with her, and she just seems, just very quiet and demure, but she's got this other side, and it comes through her writing, and I enjoy it. I'm basically waiting for no one, and I am, looking down, but Waiting for No One. It is an alternative history novel, and it follows Grace. She's the illegitimate heir of royalty, so she's a mixed race, illegitimate heir, and the story starts with the reader being introduced to a plot to kill Queen Catherine. Now, King Catherine, of course, died in childbirth, but in this version, she lived, and she's the cousin of Grace. And so we go through the book with, the book is not just centered on, the Grace is the main character, but not on, the hot goddess going to help her, discover the plot that's going on regarding her cousin, but on the two girls' relationship, there's, itself. These girls are fearless. These girls are smart and savvy. And, it's taking place in that time, more in the 1800s. But, as we were speaking of timelessness, it could be today. So it's more of a push forward than just, a push back. And so basically the entire story is about who's trying to kill King Catherine. And also Erica, the author, brings in different challenging subjects, such as, Grace is part Black, and she's part European. And so dealing with her station, dealing with her being more so not belonging to either world. She's royalty, but not, she's, kept in, so she's dealing with those situations that are current today. The author, she brought that in, race relations, different things. And also she brings in historical characters, and she inserts it, that you have a chance to meet, And so I really, really enjoyed how Erica was able to weave it all together. And I think she did an awesome job. She wasn't meaning for it to become any type of political or racial or whatever debate, or it was just a story. And it's a fun story. I'm actually bringing out more of the heavy topics, but overall, it's still a fun story. It has steampunk gadgetry,
gadgetry,
and it has gadgets. I'm from North Carolina. Sorry, I know you're from Virginia, but come on, we're Southern. And it has the gadgets, it has mechanical horses. I can tell you that. The mechanical horses, and it has these like little assassin bunnies, and it's just really cool. It does have one character, a historical character. I'm reviewing it, so this is, I don't know. Do we give spoilers?
Well, we could say spoiler alert when we do the description.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say spoiler alert. There's this one character I loved. Marie Antoinette. I know that sounds very odd, but she's brought in, she's like the surprise character at the end. And just the way, I've always heard of Marie Antoinette, but just the way Erica brings her in, because she did so much research. And Marie is a very interlaced in this. She's not, in the plot. And I loved her. I love Marie. And I found out so many different things about the historical woman that they brought into the story. And it's just a fun read. It really is. It's fun. Of course, it's got the romance. It has more social issues. And, of course, if you're a steampunk person, it has that as well. But even if you're not into steampunk, it's not so overfilled that you'll be thrown out and going, what is this? It's a great balance. It's very fun. And what I love about this author, and I brought it up, is because she just seems so unassuming and quiet. But then this same woman, introduced me to LARPing. I never knew what LARPing was. Do anyone know what LARPing is? LARPing, she says to relieve stress. She and a bunch of her friends, they dress up, I guess in character mode or whatever character they like, and they go into the woods and they do this basically, mass, battle hunt or whatever, it's actually an event called LARPing, and they dress up and they enact these scenes. And I thought that was just so cool. So Erica Allaire, and it's through Crushing Hearts Black Butterfly Publishing. It is the first in her series, and all her characters, and I asked her about that, all her characters, I asked her, because she is of European descent, I said, did you plan for your character to be one way? And, was it difficult for you to write in another racist viewpoint? She said, no, she did her research, and she's from a multicultural environment, but she says it's the muse that speaks to her, who her characters are. So the next book, someone completely different. Next book, I just love it, but it's in that same world. So I think it's the beginning. I think this is a series. I think that should be on everyone's TBR.
Yeah. So
and you can catch it. You can grab it on Amazon.
Great. Yeah. So she probably falls under alternative history. I like that alternative history stuff.
Alternative history.
Yeah. And I write a lot of alternative history.
Yes.
What if? It's like, okay, you went this way. What if you went that way? So.
What happens?
Yeah, right.
Because that one little moment has a ripple effect. How did we actually end up, all three of us, here?
Right.
I see the 10 minutes. I will be quiet.
Okay.
There you go, Denise.
Well, I have 10 minutes, so okay. The book that I picked, this is actually the fourth book in the series, and this is called Immortalis Amor, and this one's called Enslaved, and Dominique Vandorien is the author, and she actually calls it her memoirs. And she wrote about growing up in a vampire cult.
Wow.
Yeah. And I got to know her and started reading her books. And she was very, very secretive. I mean, this, of course, is not her name. She escaped this cult and had to go hide. But she had to write her story. And it starts off with her as a young teenager, she has these horrible visions, terrible, horrible visions. And then she has this dark entity that's always following her around. And it's erotic. So it's very, very erotic. But the way she writes it, I mean, she's very, very good descriptive writer. But, this dark force, rapes her in her bed. And, but it's really strange because this dark force professes to love her and hints at their past lives together in their past, but, she's like 16 when she she's writing this book. She's writing from when she was 16, and her home life wasn't very good. And so she meets this one young girl who's involved in this secret society. Now, all of this stuff that I'm talking about was kept from her. She didn't know any of this vampire cult stuff. Now, you know, we get into the Illuminati, you know, the elite, the secret elite, but she meets this one girl who is involved with this group, and this girl kind of says to her, you know, someone wants to meet you. Someone wants to meet you. And through the whole first book, it's about this secret person that wants to meet her. And she comes to slowly finds out that it has something to do with this dark entity that keeps coming to her at night. And each book is like, it's so drawn out, and you're reading, the way she reads it, she makes you keep reading the pages, and not a whole lot happens until the very end of each book. And so I had to get the second book, because the first one, she still didn't meet this secret society, dark.
It was the dragons.
Yeah. And so I get her second book, and so through the whole I told her, I said, you know what? The whole second book is foreplay. The whole book is foreplay. This secret guy sends her this dress that she has to wear, this special dress, and she's invited to this ball that's way up and hidden, you know, and it's like, you have to wear this hood when you go, because you can't know where you're going, and you're just like, what? And you get there, and it's this great big huge mansion. And it's like this dark, you know, this what's going on inside this mansion makes Caligula look like Harry Potter. Okay, you're just like, what is this? Is this really for real? And you know, I know a lot about a lot of dark stuff that's out there, and even I had to ask her. I mean, you know, on the stage there, you know, there's a lot of sex going on, and then they bring this girl, and you know, they drink her blood, and you know, and I'm just like, and so the very end of the second book, she finally gets to meet him, and the one that she meets is the one that's been on the stage all night having sex and drinking blood, and I mean, like, it was just like mind blowing. But I need to remind you, she said this is her memoirs, and this is the vampire cult that she was involved, the Illuminati cult that she was involved in. And so the very ending of this second book, she finally gets in the same room with this guy, you know, but she gets scared, and she tries to leave, and then they won't let her leave, and you know, all that normal stuff. And so she ends up in this room with this guy, and she realizes who it is, who she's been seeing up on stage. And the very last page ends up with him sinking his teeth in her neck. Spoiler alert. And that's, yeah. I was so mad at her. I was like, Dominique, how could you do that? That is like cliffhanger of all cliffhangers. You know, so, right. But very erotic. So if you're into very dark, forbidden history, erotic. I mean, like I said, Caligula looked like Harry Potter in this book, you know, and but she wrote it very well. And I'm not a reader of erotica. So for me, I had to skim across a lot of that stuff, because I was more interested in the story. You know, I was like, this is her story. I want to know about her story. I don't care about the sex acts, you know, and so the story is what kept me turning the pages. And so I have 2 more books. It scared the crap out of me reading it, because it's like in your face, and it's like, yes, people, this stuff is real, so you did it. It scared me. So I don't know. I have to really think hard about reading the next 2 books, but I thought, man, I just have to talk about this book because the story, the way that the way she was initiated. I mean, her initiation when she was a baby. She has these nightmares of when she's a baby, and it was so dark, and the things that were done to her. People just don't do this. And and after I got to know her, she was a mystical Christian. Now, I don't know what a mystical Christian is. It's like pagan Christian, a Christian that doesn't know that they believe in the other side. I don't know, but so I guess she did find her way out of it. But the very interesting part is she's disappeared. So I don't know if she got found because she was in hiding. Now she's disappeared. She's not anywhere. Her books, I don't even know if you can find her books online anymore. And so, you have to stop. The little part of me goes, is this all a marketing ploy? But there is a lot of nasty stuff out there that happens, so I just, it's Immortalis.
And what is her name?
Dominique Vandorien.
Okay.
Yeah. And,
Okay.
Of course, the links and the book covers are on here for them to reference back. But, this book just, it just makes you go, hot. So,
Wow.
if you're into that, and you can find the book, I suggest you read it because it is an eye opener, and it really helped me with a lot that's going on in our world, and it just exposed me to some more things. I guess I live a sheltered life. I don't know, but I'm just a healer. So anyways, Dominique Vandorien's Immortalis Amor, and there's like 4 books, and I believe this was her last book. And an uncensored disclosure about the paranormal reality of vampires and the BDSM cult she was raised in. Her story culminates in this highly erotic sequel with spine-chilling suspense and shocking insights. Above all else, this is a paranormal romance, but no fantasy. A powerful love